And we're live, buddy. We're live. Okay. All right. Here we go with the opening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Angie's Angles with my co-host Pete O'Shea, dialing it in live from Florida. Oh man, it is July. Can we say July? Is it possible to say July? Holy crap! Where'd the summer go? We hardly knew you. We didn't even have a spring. So anyway, Pete, I'm gonna get into it right away, right off the bat. I have to rip Major League Baseball a new a-hole. It is unbelievable that fans like you and I and the rest of our crowd, and they're not here yet, and I'm hoping we're broadcasting, but I'm sure we are. Um, this split screen that they had for the home run derby, Pete, and I know you said you didn't put any faith or credence into it, which I don't blame you. I wish I had that discipline. But we got two viewers. Beautiful. So the split screen was from the back of the pitcher throwing the balls, and the other split screen was the batter at home plate. And to track the balls was just utterly, absolutely impossible. You could not track the ball. You didn't have Berman back. You had nothing. You had, and I'm screaming at the television. Where's the producer saying this is horrible? Somebody on the broadcast needed to make that on the spot decision to pull the split screen. It was abominable. Abominable. Is that the word I'm looking for?
When was the last time we enjoyed a good broadcast? It hasn't been the same. You said it right. It used to be the home run derby was awesome to watch back in the day.
Without a doubt. You had McAfee and his dumbass partner kicking off the intros, and he says, "Yo, Paul Skeens from the Pittsburgh Steel. I mean the Pirates. I mean it's a baseball game, Pete. We're not playing football. How can you even make that goddamn mistake?" Sorry for taking the Lord's name in vain, my friend, but you know what I mean.
I hear you, buddy.
Oh
Like
my
I said,
God! I mean, guys, did you do a dry run? I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the please. And then Pete, I gotta find it, and I'm gonna put it up, and I'm gonna send it to you. Angie's Angles. Hey, Sean, what's going on? Harold, you guys, I am interstate. Thanks for joining, fellas. So, oh Jesus, I just forgot what I was gonna say. So,
you,
so, so I had the emergency podcast. I'm on the air 4 years. I've done one emergency podcast. It was actually the very next day when I started my podcast. I started April 1st, 2021. April 2nd, it was a Friday. I did an emergency broadcast killing Major League Baseball on their decision to pull the All-Star game from Atlanta over the voting registration rules that the citizens of Georgia voted on. So let's get that clear, right? The citizens who lived in Georgia said, yes, let's change these rules X, Y, and Z. And holy smolies, I'm trying to keep it fan friendly for the kiddies that are watching, so try not to get upset too much. But they pulled it from Atlanta because they felt that it was voter suppression for the African Americans or the minorities, etc., etc. And they moved it to Colorado, where the voter registration rules were like very constricting. Plus, the owners of the restaurants and hotels around the place were white owned rather than Atlanta, where they were minority owned. And that was the same exact freaking year that they were taking Hank Aaron and gonna memorialize him at the All-Star break in Atlanta. I mean, it was sheer insanity. Abominable. Thank you, Harold. Harold from downtown with the wordage. I appreciate it,
Harold, what's
Harold.
going on, buddy?
That's
Since when
funny.
does politics have a say in baseball anyway? We caved once, now you don't. Why is it even involved in the conversation? What does that have to do with an all-star game?
Well, Pete, it was the left. the left, and unfortunately at the time Joe Biden. And Harold, I know you agree with me, who forced Rob Manfred under the guise of being anti-minority and joy. And then where was the All-Star Game this year, Pete? Answer the question.
Atlanta.
And guess what?
They didn't
No
change the
voting
rules.
registration rules were changed. So what's that got to tell us, buddy?
It tells us that now with Trump left out of the way, they didn't give a dang, so they didn't put any pressure on him. But could you imagine Judge Kennesaw Mountain Lane caving into to the sitting president at the
Oh my
time?
God,
Not
there
a
was no
chance.
chance of it
Manfred
whatsoever.
needs to grow a spine.
Awful, just awful, brother, just awful.
He's ruining the game. He needs to go. Everything he's done. And think about it, this stupid clock. Baseball never had a clock. That's why you got all these pitching injuries. It's the only game that never had a clock. That was the whole point of the game. Okay, you're ruining it. It's this runner on second base in the extra innings. Ranford's got to go. The technology and the analytics are ruining the game.
And let's stay on the All-Star break game, right? We already covered ad nauseum the idiotic split screen on the home run derby, and that was and the new rules for the home run derby being, again, here we go with a time clock. No, you used to be able to swing from your heels until you used up all the buckets. Now there's a time clock and X amount of pitches that you can throw, and you get a call. Oh, timeout. Let me regroup. No. If we want to play tiddlywinks, go to a kindergarten class. I mean, holy jumping Jehovah Witnesses, Pete. I think Rob Manfred's sole mission in his life is to make me miserable, and he's succeeding.
He's changed the game into something I hardly recognize. You and I grew up watching the 70s and 80s baseball, where they played situational baseball, where they played from instinct, where they took pitches, where they actually drew walks, where on base percentage mattered, where good baseball mattered. I don't see that anymore. It's all highlight films, chicks dig the long ball, and let's put in these wacky rules and turn this into some weak version of the WWE. Baseball, what happened to it? It was a regal sport. It was the sport of kings. It was the sport of Roberto Clemente, who walked with a regal gallop as he walked. You have none of that anymore. None of it.
Or Kirk Gibson pulling his lame leg up to the plate against Dennis Eckersley. Watch that at bat. That at bat lasted 3 minutes and 12 seconds. You will never, ever see that ever again in today's game. It's just not possible with the time clock.
You're exactly right. Or the 16-inning game between Juan Marichal and Warren Spahn. Okay, you'll never, ever, ever, ever see another of that again. Kershaw just got his 3,000th strikeout. I don't think we'll ever see another 3,000th strikeout. They don't go but 5 innings. How the heck are they going to get to 3,000 strikeouts?
Pete, your lips are God's ears. I just don't understand. It's
It's not the
unfreaking
same game. They've
believable.
taken the game and they've reduced it down to some kind of a soundbite thing because they think we don't have the attention span to sit back and enjoy a baseball game. They've completely watered down the game. And not to
Utterly
mention the economic disparaging. Okay, the Yankees pay the right side of their infield more than the Marlins pay the entire team. Same thing with the
correct.
Dodgers and the Mets. You can't keep
Correct.
going when some teams are spending 70 and other teams are spending 370. That's not going to work anymore.
It's mind boggling, Pete. And I don't know what to say to that. It really is mind boggling.
Well, we're
You
in big
know,
trouble because come next year, December 2026, we'll be looking at a lockout. The owners are going to absolutely insist that there's a salary cap, and the players' union's never going to go for it. We're looking at a serious, potentially long lockout next year.
and I tell you what, if the fan base could handle another lockout, Pete.
I
I
don't think they can.
boycotted it. I
They,
boycotted it. What was it in 2022, 23 when they locked out? When was that?
yeah, that's right. They wound up getting the season started on time, but they definitely to the last minute they were locked out back then. Okay, or go back to 98, what happened, and all those times. Everybody, I mean, 90, everybody walked away in 94. There was no World Series in 94, pal, remember?
Who was ripped off? The Expos.
Yeah, the
I
Expos were
think the
supposed to win
Expos
it that year.
got the short end of the stick, right?
They had everybody. They had Randy Johnson and Pedro Martinez on the same pitching staff that year.
I mean, they were running away with the division.
And by the time they all came back, most of those guys got money somewhere else and took off. And so we're in the same position again because of where we're at with the money that's being spent on one side of the coin, and on the other side, there's 10 owners that aren't even trying, that aren't spending a dime. You got two teams playing in minor league stadiums, and they announced yesterday if the Rays make the playoffs, they're going to play their playoff games in that stadium.
It's
11,000 people.
not only the playoff games,
World Series.
the World Series. How is that even remotely allowable?
How is it allowable to have a $68 million payroll? There's a $10 billion industry. So take $10 billion, divide it by 30. That's what you're supposed to spend. If you're spending less than that, get the heck out of the game.
It's just nuts. Now, I want to pull up Harold real quick. Harold said the home run derby was what's the word you use? Abominable. However, I was not a fan of the All-Star Game, Harold, and I'll tell you why. The swing off, hitting batting practice home runs to determine the outcome of the game when you got Pete Alonso hitting a 94-mile-per-hour slider on the outside corner for a 3-run homer, and he gets denied the freaking MVP because Kyle Schwarber, with one hand and a wiffle ball bat, hit 3 freaking home runs.
He didn't even get a hit in the game, and he winds up with the MVP.
I mean,
that reminds me of them putting the runner at second base. It's little league stuff, man. You actually entered an All-Star game on a 3-swing. That's straight out of little league.
And what the hell was Aaron Boone doing choosing those 3 guys? Oh, Arezarena, whatever his name is, 0 for 3 on batting practice. Gee, I think of my grandmother. I guarantee she hits 1.
A guy who just showed up late to the All-Star game was a late addition. That's who you picked. Aaron Boone's the only manager I know could get questioned on the managing job he does in an All-Star game.
I mean, come on now. It's absolutely just insanity. I cannot understand that they think this is good. And I'm tempered in my comments. The entertainment was designed for a certain audience.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about the youth. These
Right.
guys that are white, black, yellow, green, purple walking around town with the hats like this. That was not family-oriented entertainment in my book.
No.
That was demographic entertainment. They kowtow to a certain segment of the population, which excluded you, me, Harold, Sean, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, that's because they have more disposable income than you and I have. And they're the target demographic that all consumer-orientated groups are going after, completely oblivious to the fact that you and I have more disposable income in reality than they do. And so, we've all of us in our age group have been marginalized, both in baseball and every other buying capacity, every kind of decision-making capacity. They're forgetting their core audience. They're forgetting who their core fans are. I've been a fan since 1900, and shut your hole, okay? I've been there that long. You can't tell me I don't know this game. And I don't recognize it anymore because they don't give a dang about you and me, Ange.
No, that's a fact, Pete. Absolute fact. And my problem is, and I've said this on Angie's Angles, ad nauseum. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. What's going on, Mark? Before I go to my comment, Harold, it's an exhibition game. They were out of pitching. I understand that, Harold. I totally get it. But you know what? Guess what? It ends in a tie then. Being that it's exhibition game, and sure, we needed a winner because that dictates who's the home team in the World Series, which is another crock of garbage to keep it G-rated.
So now if the Phillies make it to the World Series, they get the home field advantage because their guy hit 3 home runs in the
Well, not
thing.
necessarily that guy, but right, the National League, right, correct. So whoever wins the All-Star game gets the home field advantage in the World Series.
Which is ridiculous. Tying
It's
those two things to
absolutely
each other
ridiculous.
makes no sense.
The team that has the better record between the two teams, that's your home field advantage team, right? And if
Exactly.
it's a tie, then you go to the tiebreakers. If they played head to head, who won that series? If they didn't play
Exactly.
head to head, who won the most in their division? What was their record? That's how you dictate who's home field, not by the outcome of the All-Star game when nobody gives a crap.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, Pete. Don't get me riled up, Pete. You know, I made reference to my grandmother, God bless her soul. I was her first grandchild, but she's turning her grave. She was a big baseball fan. It was fun to watch it was fun to watch baseball with my grandmother because she'd be like, "Oh, who's playing third base for the Mets? Greg Nettles." I'm like, "Grandma, it's the Mets. We're not watching the Skankies." So she was the good egg, my grandmother.
God rest her soul.
Right, Harold. Harold says it. Sadly, we are not in their marketing demographic anymore. And Pete, if you really want to know the true fans of Major League Baseball, head count, who's in the stands first pitch, head count, who's left in the stands last pitch.
There it
That's
is.
your fan base, bar none.
That's right.
Bar
Okay.
none.
But they don't want to know that, okay? Every baseball team uses Wharton economics people to do a demographics on the town. And once they determine you can't afford to go to 40 games a year, they don't give a dang about you.
Right. It's really it's the game's become bastardized.
Yeah,
And I don't mind saying that because it has. It just it's been dummied down, okay? It's been mocked. I mean, you know, God rest his soul too. Ricky Henderson. Ricky was quoted as saying, "Ricky's cleaning up his spikes. I'm making a comeback with the two disengagement, the larger bases, the time clock. Ricky's going to steal 300 bases."
right?
We all know that Ricky spoke in the third person all the time.
You ever hear that story about him and John Olerud?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yes.
And he says to me, I used
When
to
they
have a
wound up with the
teammate that
Blue
played with a
Jays.
helmet on at first base.
Yeah.
And Olerud goes, yeah, Ricky, that was me. We played together for 3 years in Toronto.
It's so funny. It is so funny. It's absolute insanity. Ricky was a character, that's for certain. For certain.
No doubt.
Oh, man.
But, you know, I just heard an interview with Joe Madden, if you remember him, who managed the Rays and the Angels
Yeah,
just even a
yep.
few years ago.
Yep.
He said, I'm only out of the game a couple of years, and the game is administered at an upper level completely different than it used to be when I was the manager. Never would you see the GM in the clubhouse telling the guys what their numbers are, their analytics are. Never would you see that before. Now it's in every clubhouse. So now they play like robots. They don't look relaxed or comfortable out there. Every pitch, they're being moved based on an analytic number, and they don't even know how to instinctively go after a baseball anymore.
You know, there were a couple good plays. I mean, Matt Olson saved Diaz that first time against Chisholm, and what the hell was Chisholm doing in the All-Star
Why
game?
is he in the All-Star game?
Yeah, I that chain weighed more than he did, for God's sakes. Like you mentioned, right, Pete? They're all glammed up.
How's he
They're
go to
all
the bathroom with
freaking.
that thing on?
If I'm the manager, all paraphernalia go in the bucket before the game. Drop it off as soon as you get to the clubhouse.
A guy hitting 220s in the All-Star game now. This is what it's come down to.
I mean, if you take any roster from the 70s until about 85, star after star after star after star.
That's right. And you didn't see nobody sneak in. You had to earn it.
The night sky was devoid of any stars because they were on the field.
That's right. That's right. That's right. But you don't see that no more, okay? You don't see that anymore. Okay, now they're letting every team has to be represented. So you got guys in there that are above average players at best who are making the All-Star team. It's not the same. Same close to the same.
Just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what else to say to that. I really don't know what else to say to that, Pete.
Well, here's a point I wanted to make too with you earlier. The stars of the game, the big names, right? Today, they feel like they have to swing at every pitch. Their job is to drive in runs, and so they swing at every pitch. And they strike out 200 times, and they're only hitting 220, but they hit 40 home runs, and they think they've done something. Well, no, you should get that 100 walks, bring your on base percentage up over 4 like Juan Soto does, and hit 280 and hit 30 home runs instead of the 40. But today, nobody situational hits, and everybody swings at pitches out of the strike zone, knowing they're not strikes. They swing anyway because they don't want to draw walks. Walks aren't sexy, but walks win games. It exhausts pitches, it blows out bullpens, it raises on base percentage, and it wins games.
Kevin, my buddy Kevin Elliott from Florida, he is a big on base percentage.
Where'd he go, everybody? Wait,
what's going on?
Having trouble connecting.
You are.
Angelo, where'd you
We hear you.
buddy?
We hear you, Pete. We hear you.
Is everybody else still there? I have no idea.
I don't know. I hear you, Pete.
Main
You hear
connection.
Me? Anyway, I'll pick it up for you, Pete. I hear you.
Where did he go?
Oh, me? Where did I go? I'm here. Guys, did you lose me? Harold, am I still on? Looks like I'm still on because I'm posting things, Pete. Anyway, let's continue. So Kevin Elliott has said that he's a big on-base percentage guy. He's a big walk guy. He's a big OPS. He's anti-home run. He hates the home run. He'd rather have the double. And he gives me a lot of tidbits, a lot of informazione. And, yeah, Harold, thank you. Can you hear me, Harold? Yeah? Pete, you hear me or no? No.
Okay, he's back.
I'm here. It might have been you because it looks like I'm okay.
Okay, well, I stayed on the whole time.
Yeah, I stayed on too, actually, so I'm not really sure what happened.
Okay. Anyway, That was my point. That they need to stop swinging at bad pitches and draw their walks like Soto does. He has more walks than strikeouts. If every big slugger did it like that, then they'd be the only guys in the All-Star game. They'd be so much better than everybody else. A 400 on-base percentage is gold.
Without a doubt. And, Pete, I know you had some topics you wanted to bring up, but we're running out of time a little bit. So Why don't you throw out your I know I hogged the screen today, so I apologize for that. But why don't you throw out...
Just do my trivia question?
Yeah, why don't you throw out the trivia?
Okay. So from the year we were born is where I found this one. Who did the Mets hire as their running coach in 1965?
I'm gonna just, only because this name sticks in my head for some reason. Manny Mota.
No.
Oh. Who was it?
Who's the greatest runner of all time?
Oh, Lou Brock.
No, the greatest runner of all time.
The greatest runner.
Uh-huh.
You got me by the short hairs, Pete.
4 Olympic gold medals in front of
Hitler. Bob Beeman. No, he was a high jumper. 4
gold medals in front of Hitler.
Oh, Jesus. Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens. The Mets
did they really? I did not know
this. 1965 to be their running coach.
That is incredible. That's some tidbit of information right there, Pete.
Yep.
Pete, bring back the days of CYO basketball. Pete from the side, 3-pointer from downtown.
You would just usually alley-oop those in after I missed.
That's funny. All right, we're at the 8:53 mark, Pete, and we're going to go to the prayer circle.
Amen. Okay, let's do it.
All right. This week's prayer circle, in no particular order. Harold, we remain prayers for your brother-in-law, Frank. Dawn Squared, co-worker and your spouse. And that was nice what you wrote today, Harold, on Facebook about your spouse. And we're going to add Carol and Bob to our prayer list. Friends of Harold and Dawn's, who's on the list for a new kidney. And he's got to drop a little weight. So we're hoping that things go well for them. Scott Tobias. I was touched this week, Pete. Scott was in the hardware business with my dad. My dad and Scott were very, very, very dear friends, and Scott gives my dad a lot of credit for his success in the business, and that was just my dad. If you knew my dad, but anyway, I digress. Um, Scott, his wife, and I believe it was his son, skidded off the road recently this week.
Oh
And
no.
he clearly claims that he has no right to be even texting me because he shouldn't be here. They all walked away from the damage. They
Oh.
all walked away from the wreck. The car was totaled, wrapped around a tree, etc., etc. And he had the thought to reach out to me to say, "Hey, you're an important person in my life. You and your dad, I love you both. Everything's great. By the grace of God, here I am." And we want to keep Scott, his wife, his son, his family in our prayers. He's
Yes.
got a little back pain, but he goes, he'll take back pain over the alternative. So God bless you, Scott and family. God is good. He was watching. Linda, Grandma Stein, we're praying for your dad and yourself, young lady. Mark Brooks, they're all situated in the brand new house. However, Mark is back to his clumsy ways. If he got his cane the other day and took a tumble and he got a little bruised up. Also, congratulations to Antoinette, his wife Tony, and Mark. And I believe you guys are celebrating 40 years marriage. So God bless you both. Happy
Wow.
anniversary, you crazy guys. Kevin Elliott, my good buddy, Kevin Lennox, down in Hollywood, Florida. We're praying for your health challenges. Kraus family, we're praying for you guys as that Darcy remains in remission as she is. And we pray for nothing but good news for you guys. Clark, we're praying for your brother-in-law Brad, your sister Trish. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying that Lee remains healthy and the results come back well. Marianne Bello out in Las Vegas, we're praying for you, hon. You and your mom as you deal with the everyday nuances of that. Larry Levy, we're praying for you and your wife Frida. Again, all positives, all cancers are in remission. We're praying that God keeps it there, and if not, kicks it out to the curb. We're praying for Mr. McGowan. Sir, we have your six, my friend. Doing well at home, rehabbing, trying to get his legs under him. Big John, Smoke Therapy Lounge. We're praying for Cousin Richie. Phil's Nona, Brother Angelo's friend Dave. And good to say that we've taken some people off the prayer list, Pete. So God is good. Not because they went the other way, they've gotten better, and the prayers have helped. So we appreciate that. John Vitale, we're praying for your father-in-law John Kane, your brother Frank, but more importantly yourself, John. John just had a discectomy surgery. I've had 3 of them. This was his second, I believe, and he's home recouping in good spirits. Joanne, our cigar supplier, Smoke Therapy, we're praying for Angel, who suffered an eye stroke. Mike C., another buddy out there in the lounge, we're praying for your dad. Ralphie, we're praying for your Aunt Doris. But you, Ralph, you spent a month and a half in the hospital dealing with your nonsense. So we're glad he was here last Thursday for a little bit. He had to go. He was feeling under the weather, but he's on the mend.
Good.
We're praying for Vinny's mom. We're praying for our good friend and co-host Pete O'Shea and his wife Shani on their new venture down there in Florida. We're praying. Pete's got an excellent opportunity in front of him. Let God give him the strength, the desire, the thirst, the hunger to make yet what? This is what? Again, you're of 1900, so this has got to be 1,463 comeback. So
Yeah, about that, yeah.
we're going to give that to Pete. We're hoping things work out for you. We're praying for the folks in Alaska who was facing a tsunami. I haven't heard anything more. There was a 7.3 earthquake off their coast, and they were urged and implored to vacate. We're praying for the victims down in Texas on the flash flooding and those poor girls and the owner of that Mystic Camp who died trying to save the girls. And we're praying that they get they kick the antiquated warning system out of the box and get a brand new one so future tragedies like this do not replicate themselves. Pete, you want to throw anybody in there? You got anybody?
We have some dear friends here also going through some stuff. The entire family, the Johnson family. So keep them lifted there. There's several illnesses in that family.
We pray for the Johnson family. So that concludes our prayer service. We're at the 8:59 mark. Pete has committed to us two times a month. Next week, special Angie's Angles, folks. It is our Midsummer Angie's Angles Wings Bourbon and Cigar Night. Starting off at BLD's and around Konkoma. If you're local and you can hear the broadcast, or if you're like Pete one of these days flying up, stop by. Everybody's welcome. It's been Angie's Angles with my co-host with the most hosts, Pete O'Shea, coming to you live from Angie's Angles. Good night. God bless. We love you. Thanks, Pete.
Sure, buddy. That was awesome.
I'll see you later, pal.
Okay, pal.